This is going to be a response video to a video that 12 Tone posted a few days ago in response to a video that Rick Beato posted on Memorial Day weekend. And in that video, Rick was playing the guitar, talking about how the music of today is boring compared to what we had in the 1960s or 1970s, where songs were a little more complex. Of course, they didn't have the technology back then that we have. Things sound a little more raw. But I have this quote here from Frank Zappa. And listen to what Frank Zappa has to say. This was an interview done years ago. And I found this here on YouTube. I believe the title of the video, I can't remember the channel, but the title of the video is The Death of Radio or The Death of Pop Radio. And this is what Frank Zappa said. Some music of an experimental or unusual nature did get recorded and released. Now look at who those executives were in those companies at that time. Not hip young guys. These were cigar-chomping old guys who looked at the product and said, I don't know. Who knows what it is? Record it, stick it out of it. We're better off with those guys than we are now with the supposedly hip young executives who are making the decisions of what people should see and hear in the marketplace. And Zappa went on to say this. Those hip executives used to be the guys that got their old boss coffee and the mail. Now these hip execs have their feet on the desk and are too conservative to take a chance, deciding, quote unquote, what the kids really want. And he finished by saying they are not the final arbiters of taste. And when we live in a society where we have the 3-minute song and 30-second soundbite, we cannot thrive as artists. And I'm not trying to pick on hip-hop or rap music here, because I listen to everything, except I'm not a fan of hip-hop or rap. I'll admit that. But I write music in my spare time, and I know good art when I see it, I hear it. But if you've got a song on the radio, a hip-hop song or rap song, that's got the F word every 2 seconds in the song and they got to bleep it out on the radio, what does it say about you as an artist? It says you're taking the lazy way out. Don't take the lazy way out. Raise yourself to the highest bar you can, the highest standard. Because by doing so, you can cross the generational gap and you'll reach more people. Don't you want your music 50, 60, 70, 80 years down the road to be looked back upon and people say, yeah, that's a great piece of music. We need to preserve that. Now, what role does radio play in all this? Well, I'll give you an example. Clear Channel. In the 1990s, 1996, there was this deregulation of the airwaves. They started passing all these telecommunications acts, and Clear Channel soaked up most of the market. And what they would do is they would have these speakers set up in these auditoriums, bring people in, and play these 30-second sound bites. And they ask them, did you like it? Did you hate it? And Nancy Giles, who was one of their main anchors for Clear Channel, she talked about the playlist that they were given. She was shocked when she saw this. And she said, well, why can't we play this song? Or why can't we play that song? And her bosses would always evade the question, kind of brush her off. And she asked this question: who makes the decision of what these people listen to? I mean, who makes the decision of selecting that music for these people to sample in these auditoriums? Now, there's a guy on YouTube, I don't know if he's got any other videos out there, but he had a podcast, the Eddie Trunk podcast. And Eddie Trunk says that when he started in radio, he could play whatever song he wanted from the album, as long as it was at a certain time of day. But that changed. Once you started bringing in bean counters, consultants, and it was more of how do we keep people listening longer, rather than letting people call in and ask for you to play a particular song. And you as a DJ added personality to that station. He wanted to say this: no radio format exists to get the least amount of listeners, and that is true. For example, if a rock station is asked to play a Europe song, it will be the Final Countdown because that's the hit. He said radio is a business, and they must keep keep people tuned in, not tuned out. But is there a way that we can have a happy medium? Is 12-tone right? Is Rick Beato wrong? Is 12-tone wrong and Rick Beato right? I think they were both trying to reach the same conclusion. They just didn't say it, which is we need a higher standard artistically. We need to be the best that we can be when we're writing a piece of music. Whether you write a classical piece of music. I got to tell you something. I got all these CDs in the mail. I decided to splurge for July. My one time of the year that I splurge on myself. And I just did this video, the most gangsta CD album cover ever. And it's not from a hip-hop or rap album. It's from Deutsche Grammophon. And this is a release that came out years ago on vinyl. And it's to the opera Die Freischütz, or The Marksman by Karl Maria von Weber. This is an opera that was composed about 250 years ago. Now on the cover, it's got blue lettering done in the old German style with what looks like bullet marks on it. And then you see this rifle. There's a black background, but there's this rifle pointed right at you, straight at you on the vinyl copy. Now, on the CD release, the re-release, the album is at a slant on the CD cover. So it looks like the rifle is pointing at an angle at you. But it is the most gangsta CD cover or album cover I've ever seen. Before gangsta was a thing. So I think we need to raise the bar in whatever genre we're working in. We can do better as artists. And if they got to bleep out the F word every 2 seconds in your song, that tells me you're taking the lazy way out as an artist. Now, I'll admit it. I love classical music more than I do, let's say, hip-hop, rap, rock and roll. But I also love jazz, and I love Jamiroquai. So my tastes go all over the place. And there are several songs by Jamiroquai that are quite complex in their rhythms, in their harmonies. He adds strings and words. He does some cool things in the beginning of these songs. This is from the album from 1993, Emergency on Planet Earth. Great album if you've never heard this album. And one of the songs, it starts out with a string quartet. Do we really hear that today? Can a hip-hop artist, or let's say a country artist even, write a string quartet? I mean, I'll admit, I can't write a rap tune to save my life. So you got me there. But if you are going to be a hip-hop artist, be the best that you can be and keep it clean so that you can reach people across the board, cross-generational. Don't you want to create music that lasts? So when people look at that 60, 70, 80 years down the road, they say, wait, that was a great song that came out back in the early 2000s or in 2021. Why is it that the music of, let's say, Dave Brubeck or Cal Tjader, or let's say even the Beatles, or Beethoven, or one of my favorite lesser-known composers, Franz Berwald, or Franz Kummer, how come their music outlasts what we see today on the landscape, musical landscape? Because it's quality. It's quality over quantity. We need to get back to quality in our music. And it's time for us to stop settling for the 3-minute song and the 30-second soundbite. Let's do better as a society. So if you enjoyed the video, please click that like button, subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram at hashtag Jason Composes. Leave comments below. Now you can reach me at Twitter, Cultural Confederacy Twitter. But I really believe this. So my takeaway from these two videos is that 12-Tone and Rick Beato were trying to reach the same conclusion. And I'm not trying to start a fight between these guys, so please do not go to Rick Beato's channel and say, Cultural Confederacy said this about your video, or go to 12-Tone's channel and say, Cultural Confederacy said that about your video. I don't want to peg people against each other here on YouTube. This is a community. There's room for everybody, us content creators. And I want to bring you the best possible content that I can. But at the end of the day, the truth is that it's all about artistic integrity. And that can be simple or complex in whatever piece of music that you're working on. Or let's say you don't write music. Let's say you're working on a book, or you paint. Let's say you're building a building. Make it the best that it can be. Don't cut corners. Be an example to other people. So thank you for being with me. Once again, please click that like button, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram at hashtag Jason Composes. Leave comments below. Now you can reach me at Twitter, Culture Confederacy at Twitter. Whenever I say below, I want to say below. I don't know what the deal is. Leave comments below. I did that in one of my videos. I think maybe I get too excited in these videos and I get tripped up on my words. But I love doing these videos for you guys, as you know. So thank you for being with me, and I'll catch you next time. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this great country, and I'll catch you next time.